Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We all act to solve problems according to the circumstances. That is, we apply a different way of solving a problem depending on what we can and what we can't do based on the consequences of our actions. For instance, let's say I have to go somewhere, my car doesn't work, is out of work, broke down. I just don't go to my neighbor and knock on the door and say, give me the freaking car, I need your car, and he's gonna give me the car, or simply just go and see if there are the keys in the ignition, get his car from his driveway. I don't do that. Why? Because there are consequences, and I will not like the consequences, which is phone call to the police, or maybe hey, what are you doing with my car? So there are consequences. So then I redefine my way of acting. So I go, maybe if I need a ride and I'm in an emergency situation, I go to my neighbor, knock at the door and say, hey, Gigi, this is a situation, could I borrow your car? If you're in good relationship, again, good relationship with a neighbor. Or you can do other things, but you do it according to the circumstance. You tailor your behavior based on the consequences. So if, let's say, there's no police, let's say I got weapons and I'm a bad dude and he's a weaker individual who doesn't have weapons, I can go and get the car with the weapon if I want. But that's a way, and I don't have to ask him for the permission or, hey, can you please give me this, explain nothing. Okay, if there's a anarchy or I'm the guy, the boss around, so I don't need his permission. So you see, I change my behavior based on the circumstances. So the same thing is in the foreign policy. If you as a country are strong enough, you don't need to ask for permission. You don't need to follow the laws, the international law, or any UN, requirements, or as they say them, UN resolutions or anything like that. You just do it, and nobody can do anything to you. So what I'm trying to say, if might is right, depending on the circumstance. In this case, we have the Western world, which is strong enough militarily, economically, politically to influence everybody else, and they don't have to persuade them. They don't have to use argumentation and say, hey, can I borrow your car because I'm in a bad situation and so on. They don't need to do that. They just got this and you don't have it. And there's no police office around, or policeman around. And that, by the way, the policeman is my cousin, which is, let's say, United States, or the police does that, which is United States in this case. So they do not have to persuade you. They just go and take it. Or before they use threats, that's how they operate. Threats, blackmail, and then shotgun, showing it to you and do other stuff to you. That's how it operates. Now it shows in the European Union that these weasels are trying to do the same thing to Hungary. Why? Because Hungary is it's been attempting, and successfully so, conducting its own policy based on its own interest, like everybody else. But the problem is, you see, if let's say the United States has an interest, it just steps on everybody's head because it can, chichuk. But if it meets China or meets Russia in the process, it's not going to use chichu because the other person has chichu as well. So they're going to try to persuade first, and then if the country, in this case, does not agree with your persuasion, you say, okay, man, I can't, make you do this. I can't, change your mind. I'm leaving. What the hell? Maybe try something else. No, I'm going to start threatening you. And I'm going to say, well, if you don't do what I want you to do, that I tried to persuade you, with rhetoric and all the techniques, then I'm going to do this to you. And then I'm going to do this to you. And I'm going to go from threats to blackmail and then regime change. And after regime change, if that doesn't work, I might also invade you. Straight like that. So in this case, as I said, we have Hungary that is threatened by and blackmailed by the European Union. And this is revealed by Hungary's foreign minister, Mr. Szijjarto. All right, so this article comes from Sputnik from today, the 9th of December 2022. Hungary's Szijjarto says Brussels using all kinds of blackmail against Budapest, Hungary. So let's see what this gentleman is saying. Hungary must be prepared for serious attacks from the European Union since, and I'm quoting, Brussels and liberal propaganda machine, end quote, are not selective in their means and are using all kind of blackmail against Budapest, Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjarto said on Thursday. The minister recalled that over the past 10 years, Budapest's anti-crisis policy has never been in the mainstream of the European Union, and I'm quoting, but it has always been successful, end quote. Hungary has built fences on the southern border when it was required to accept migrants, purchased COVID-19 vaccines from Russia and China when the EU was waiting for Western-made vaccines, and now advocates a peaceful resolution of the conflict in Ukraine, Szijjarto said. And I'm quoting, currently there is practically no kind of blackmail that Brussels has not resorted to against Hungary. We have always been attacked fiercely, but in the end we have always been right. In the period to come, of course, we have to prepare ourselves for future serious attacks. Brussels and the international liberal propaganda machine clearly will not choose the means. Money, blackmail, political blackmail, spreading fakes and lies will follow. And quote, Szijjarto told the Civic Solidarity Forum. The minister reiterated that Budapest's goal was to avoid a recession at a time when the energy crisis on a scale never seen before has arisen in Europe. On November 24th, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán said Budapest had fulfilled the entire list of requirements agreed upon with the European Commission. So they were supposed to receive some money from the European Commission. You do this for me, I give you this money. That's how it operates. And they say, well, we did that, Orban said, but you guys do not give us the money. Well, you shouldn't depend on the European Union. Let's put it this way. So it says on November 30th, the Commission decided to maintain its initial proposal of September 18 to freeze 7.5 billion euros, which is $7.8 billion, in EU budget funding for Hungary until Budapest fulfills all its conditions. Now the Commission's decision must be approved by the Council of EU countries by qualified majority. So that's only one example. These guys are just operating. And this doesn't come from a, how should I put it, extremist, whatever you want to call it, but he is already called that way. But it comes from the foreign minister of Hungary. Now remember, these guys are supposed to be in an alliance, the monolithic, the free world. And he's spilling the beans here. He just comes and said, this is the way these guys operate. Now, do you want to be in such a friendship? You like it? Well, you say, well, let's give and take. That's true. I agree with that. Let's give and take. But the blackmail is not a give and take. The blackmail is an order. I'm going to harm you if you don't do what I want you to do. That's a different than, give and take. Okay, let's negotiate. You give me this, I give you that, blah, blah, blah. No, here is not like that. And he said it's not only political blackmail. So when you hear countries that want to be members of the European Union and thinking, oh my God, my life will be better, well, get ready to become a vassal state to some unknown individuals, faceless people in Brussels that actually create and come up with all kind of policies that the rest of us or the rest of them will have to follow. And because there are certain kind of policies, and you wonder, who the hell was the person who came with this policy, with this idea? Who is that person? Well, you really don't find. You find only a few speakers, pop, 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 but you don't know who's the guy who in a room decided and said, hey, we need to do this. And what's the plan? The European values, they had been gone. They want to change that. Who is the person who dictates, these are the European values? Who are those people? And how they dare to speak for everybody else in Europe as European values. So if I am, or a country has certain kind of values, and you receive a phone call from Brussels telling you, hey, you got to change that tradition, my boy, because that's not a European value. You would ask, when the fuck have I been here for 2,000 years or so? Where have you been? How can you tell me that and I can't tell you that? Under what kind of moral authority you can say that? Based on what? So, and then they say, well, you know what? I'm going to give you a few $1 billion from the bankers or from other weasels. I'm going to give it to you. Just change that value that you have, okay? And if you have the right people in charge, they will do that. And then your country, your nation, your culture will change. And change by those guys over there. Who are those? You will never know. You will know only the guys here in your little neighborhood who changed that, but you don't know how the process worked. So yes, Hungary stands firm still until a little revolution will happen, because that's where they are right now. They're with blackmail and threats. It's beyond that. They can't solve anything over there. They tried with the elections. Orban got in power still after what, 3 elections. It was the 4th, I think, that he won in a row. Peter Szijjarto is right. They're good, intelligent and courageous guy. So what's next? The next step is a little revolution. I think they tried a month ago or so, but it was a mild one. Because it seems like the Hungarians are, supporting this kind of policy that their government was voted in, or at least Orban and whomever he appointed over there. So, if you want to be in that club, go ahead. These are the requirements. You got to do what I tell you to do. And suppose we are in an alliance. Yep. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.